What is up, guys? Welcome back to Fishing and Surfing Charleston. Wow, what a 5 or 6 months now that it's been. Had a kid, started Marshmallow, still working my full-time job, still managing an Airbnb on James Island. Life's been full. YouTube's been getting the slack end of it, and I do, want to change that. So I'm doing a little video on the LX and kind of how it performs. Super late. My fiance and I are getting married, and we just did a little tasting today, which put me a little behind. We got a flood tide at like 12, but if you go further up on the rivers, it'll be even later. So hopefully it's 1:13 now. Hopefully we'll get out there and get on these little paddle boards. These things are so, and I call them paddle boards because that's what they are. People call them micro skiffs when I put the motor on them and stuff, but it's a paddle board, and that's the fun of it, is keeping it light and simple and just as easy as possible. And today I actually carried them instead of using the trailer, which has been so good for tours and the fishing trips that I've done, and the group paddles, just to be able to load them all up and slide them off easily at the boat ramp for the access. But the other great thing about these boards is you can throw motors on them, and in my car that means spilled gas, so that means a high on gas fumes car ride to the boat ramp. Just can't seem to keep gas in the motor completely, so now I just have life epiphanies and ponder the universe on the way to ride my dope boards. Shouts out to Liv for hooking up Marshmallow. They've been kind of a partner through this, pushing our agenda on their Instagram and their social, because we are exclusively paddling on their boards. But yeah, so this is the LX. The first thing that I always note is how light it is, and that's because it's a tad skinnier than the L2 and the L4. And on that note, this is just a personal preference. I know Sub Customs and Austin and Dave and all that, they love the L4s, but like, I'm just telling you from a marshy, creaky, skinny water guy, if you don't need 2 extra foot of board, we're not going to use it. 12.6 is plenty for gear and motors, and I mean, unless you want to specifically take 2 people, but if you're doing that, you might as well buy a canoe or something with a little bit more rigidity to it as far as like side to side, because 2 people on these things, it's not really like what it's meant to do. You can, but it's not going to be fun. Take it from a guy who did it on the Rover. That was a 14-foot boat, not dual hull, so I don't even think that's as good, but 14 feet is a limited space for 2 people. I already tell people that my job is kind of tight, because a skiff is a small place, and sharing that with someone is like a lot. So that's why people are, guides always talk about the over talkative customer or the under talkative customer. It's like we always have to deal with clients, and it's always funny in any line of work to like shoot the shit and say how the customer was. So it's just funny. Bringing it back, 12.6, 1 person, plenty. Those people who use the L4 is good for you. I'm not lugging around 65 pounds when I can easily shed 15 foot and 2 foot board with the L2 and LX. But back to the main point, it's skinnier, so it's a little nimbler. They recommend a smaller motor. I put a bigger one with a 3.5. It's fine. It's a little more tippy. It is still 32 inches wide with dual hulls. You are still getting plenty of stability if you know what you're doing. My friend Patrick has an LX with a Suzuki 2.3 short shaft, and it does great. The Sub Custom mount is a little further back, so that equals like a little bit more bow out of the water, which is great in itself, again. And I relate that to the LX being a little beefier in the front. If you think about it, with that lip all around the edge, it does kind of like have a little bit more air up front in the hull and a little bit more fiberglass. So meaning the front is out of the water, which is great. I like the boat having the bow out of the water. It takes wakes good, and it kind of planes a little steeper than the L2, but you just step forward. Someone on Instagram said to put a 45-pound plate. Like, again, I'm never gonna add weight when I don't have to. These things are already closing in on 100 pounds with the motor. You want to keep it light. You don't want to add a 45-pound plate or dumbbell in your cooler. I mean, I guess you could, but just me. I'm not gonna go out of my way to make things heavier. So I'm gonna head up north to my parents' place in Clellanville, and I'm gonna get on the water on one of these upper creeks to see if these flats can deliver. Either way, we're gonna get on the LX, so come along. And we own October in the low country. Yeah. That combined with one of these, it's hard not to smile when you're out here. But yeah, this is the LX. It runs good, it runs quick. It's good. It's windy. Probably going like 10, 12. Taking turns, banking. Banking turns. Check the flags. Didn't want to start at the ramp because too many people. Watch this channel and spot search where I go. So we stopped doing the setup, but we took about, I don't know, 10 minutes to set everything up. I keep the plate, tiller extension, spare bottle gas, and the outboard all together. So literally just lit that up. But other than that, put on the cooler, grab my rod, paddle, and then just kind of scoot on out. We'll see what's back here. I really like this board though. It's nice and lip really helps keep out water, and then it's self-bailing with the little drains back, so everything can be full of water. But honestly, with the outboard and the G-force, it stays pretty dry. I constantly see myself in the summertime splashing water on the deck because it gets pretty warm. The top of your feet get pretty hot. So let's get to the spot. I'll talk some more. So it's windier than all hell, so I'm just chilling. Took a cruise around this little marsh island, and I'm just kind of beached, chilling, enjoying the October weather. It's always nice and cool this time of year here. I want to go swim, but the water's kind of murky. You got to watch these upper rivers. But let's just go through a quick list of what I like about the LX. Good. I like the cool marine mat they put on it. I like how light it is and narrow, easier to turn. It turns way better than the L2. I like the engine plates for them. They're super easy. There's only 4 bolts. They're light. And the Suck Custom engine plates are so light, so nice. They are expensive, but like what you pay for aluminum is expensive, so you might as well. Sheesh, it's hauling ass out here. Another thing I like is the lip around the edge of the core. Really kind of keeps everything in even more. I mean, I lost a fly rod on a trip with motors not too long ago. It wasn't an expensive one. I don't really buy expensive fly rods, but yeah, I went down in the Wando. So it's nice to have a lip where I can wedge stuff in and really know it's not going anywhere. I like how it's a little narrower because, and this is a pro and a con, because it turns so well and it's so nimble. Like Ariane, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Ariane, who gave me these boards when I made the multi-purchase, told me that the LX was like, she said agile, like nimble and agile, but that essentially means a little tippier, but it's cool. I mean, it's nice. Those L2s, if you've never been on one, they are so nice, but they are like, they're a lot. I mean, 2 more inches of foam, that adds up to be like a lot of surface area and a lot of core strength required to turn it. So yeah, the bad, you know, it is a little tippier, so if you're not ready for it, like, you can easily go in on the LX, especially with a 2-stroke on there. The thing, it scoots and it's fun, but definitely a little tippier. But I mean, I turn around in a creek so much faster than Ryan did on his L2. I was waiting for him. And then what else? There's not much else I don't really like. I would say lack of yak attack mounts, but I mean, how much do you need? This thing has 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, 2 in the back, and 2 in the very back for the motor mounts. It's like, how much do you need? So all in all, I'm really like kind of curious why it's more expensive than the L2, but you know, maybe that lip adds a little bit of labor, or the pads up front obviously weren't there, the pads out back weren't there, there's just a marine mat in the middle on the L2 and the L4, so maybe that. I mean, I love how the front is a little more out of the water. Even that is a good thing for me. I don't need to be perfectly level when I'm going along at speed. This thing obviously scoots. You're going like, it's got to be like 10 miles an hour. But yeah, I'd say that's it. I mean, if anyone has any questions, drop them in the comments. But I'll see you out here again. I got some time coming up, and I want to get on the water mid-October. November, December, all these months are really good for targeting redfish. Obviously not when it's a windstorm like now, but it feels great. It's easy to be out here. It's not taxing on the body, like 110 degrees. So yeah, give me a shout. Best way to do it is on Instagram or check the website. But yeah, I hope you like this video. If you haven't yet, follow my Instagram and the business page, Marshmallow Adventures. See where it goes. I got no plans of stopping. Next year is going to be really good. I have a new little marketing plan to kind of get the word out with, you know, just tourists, not just fishermen. I do love just being on the water. I don't need to fish all the time, but out-of-towners, people that need lessons, group paddles, who knows? Might get another board or two. I get 6 boards for groups. I'm working out all the deets. We're insured, we're licensed. Give us a call. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.